Welcome to another edition of Over the Top Sports. I'm Mark Panis.
And I'm Michael Broughton.
Michael, today let's talk about a real hot button issue right now as professional sports organizations start to come out of the pandemic. Who's going to do the work? Over the past year, since COVID really struck, there's been a consistent, steady drumbeat of furloughs, layoffs, and outright elimination of positions. A lot of organizations in sports are running very lean right now, and which is fine. It's understandable. But as leagues ramp back up, as they get ready to welcome fans back in, these skeleton staffs that exist, these downsized staffs, who is going to do the work? A lot of this stuff takes significant lead time, sponsorship sales, ticket sales, prep for what's going on in arena. There simply isn't enough headcount right now to bring the leagues back up to ramming speed in really quick fashion. What do they do?
Right, and I think what you've seen certainly on this side of the Atlantic has been a fixation from the media on you can't lay off staff with the big clubs, right? The Liverpools, the Arsenals of the world. You're owned by billionaires. You shouldn't be letting people go. But actually, they're not the ones I'm worried about. Right. I'm worried about everybody else, the second half of the top league and everything below, minor league baseball in the US, right? I mean, all these things where I think I saw a bunch of clubs here in the Premier League saying they'd had really good numbers of season ticket holders saying, no need to refund us, we'll take a credit for next season and so on. But they're going to need to fill the stadiums. Right. And firsthand, it's not necessarily easy to fill a stadium, particularly when you have a large group of the population still slightly nervous about being in a public situation like that. So even on the real basics of picking up the phones, getting out there, doing the media, doing the marketing, driving the numbers in, getting back to sponsors. Like, how do you repitch a sponsor? You have to rethink how you're doing it these days. And I think there should have been more coverage of sports like rugby, where I'll be honest, to me, it looks like a bloodbath behind the scenes, right? The front offices are basically CEOs and small groups. Everybody else is gone.
Right. And I really do point to ownership in this. I think it's a lack of understanding of ownership on how long these things take. If you want to sell season tickets, right, you're going to need a 60, 90, 120 day window in order to do that. And then on top of that, you have to train people who are going to do those sales. That hiring and training process, that's at least 8 weeks, right? So now you're talking about 4 or 5 months. So I think a lot of the layoffs that were done and the furloughs, which effectively have turned into just straight out downsizing, was very short-sighted because fans are going to come back into the stadia. People are getting vaccinated, and there's a need for that revenue. But the protocols that have to be put in place in stadia and around the stadia are stringent. They take arms and legs. They just takes headcount to do that. And it's going to be interesting what happens in the coming months, because to your point, fans are nervous about coming back. And if they can't, if they're calling into a front office, they're dealing with someone that doesn't have the institutional memory of the club, how it operates in its arena, how that fan is going to be able to deal with ticket exchanges, account rollovers, never mind, as you said, the sponsorship side of it. And I think the sponsorship side of it's obviously going to be very significant, because if there aren't fans in the stands, what exactly are you selling for that in-arena dollar value that you're packaging in to these bigger sponsorship programs?
And I think we've seen, lots of sponsors and broadcasters realize just how important the fan is, right? And I think there's been an underlying assumption by too many, not everyone, but too many, that, oh, don't worry, when COVID is over, it will all go back to normal, which ignores the fact of what's normal. Right? What will that look like? We don't know. And by the way, that's going to be different in each market. California is going to be different to New York. It's going to be different to Texas, going to be different Amsterdam to London. So, I understand it. I understand why they had to take some of these drastic actions.
Yep.
I'm not sure they're ready for how they ramp that up. But it sounds to me like something we're going to have to dig into a little bit deeper when we jump on a Clubhouse or on another conversation here at OTT Sports.
Looking forward to going over the top with y'all next time we do that. So catch more episodes for OTT Sports on the IMM website or on our YouTube channel, and come join us on Clubhouse. Let's all be part of that conversation. See you soon.